Beltway Radio and beyond. Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
You better sing the hook. It's the
Beltway Radio
Ow!
and beyond.
We live. Say it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio
Yes.
and beyond.
You better whisper the hook. Do it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
I said the Beltway Radio and beyond. Yes, one more time. Beltway Radio, yeah, and beyond. With the Beltway Radio and beyond. Bring the freak back. What?
Beltway Radio
Yeah,
and beyond.
we live right here.
Beltway Radio. Say what?
And beyond. Beltway Radio and beyond. Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
You better sing the hook. It's the
Beltway Radio
Ow!
and beyond.
We live. Say it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio
Yes.
and beyond.
You better whisper the hook. Do it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
I said the Beltway Radio and beyond. Yes, one more time. Beltway Radio, yeah, and beyond. With the Beltway Radio and beyond. Bring the freak back. What?
Beltway Radio
Yeah,
and beyond.
we live right here.
Beltway Radio. Say what?
And beyond. Beltway Radio and beyond. Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
You better sing the hook. It's the
Beltway Radio
Ow!
and beyond.
We live. Say it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio
Yes.
and beyond.
You better whisper the hook. Do it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
I said the Beltway Radio and beyond. Yes, one more time. Beltway Radio, yeah, and beyond. With the Beltway Radio and beyond. Bring the freak back. What?
Beltway Radio
Yeah,
and beyond.
we live right here.
Beltway Radio. Say what?
And beyond. Beltway Radio and beyond. Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
You better sing the hook. It's the
Beltway Radio
Ow!
and beyond.
We live. Say it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio
Yes.
and beyond.
You better whisper the hook. Do it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
I said the Beltway Radio and beyond. Yes, one more time. Beltway Radio, yeah, and beyond. With the Beltway Radio and beyond. Bring the freak back. What?
Beltway Radio
Yeah,
and beyond.
we live right here.
Beltway Radio. Say what?
And beyond. Beltway Radio and beyond. Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
You better sing the hook. It's the
Beltway Radio
Ow!
and beyond.
We live. Say it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio
Yes.
and beyond.
You better whisper the hook. Do it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
I said the Beltway Radio and beyond. Yes, one more time. Beltway Radio, yeah, and beyond. With the Beltway Radio and beyond. Bring the freak back. What?
Beltway Radio
Yeah,
and beyond.
we live right here.
Beltway Radio. Say what?
And beyond. Beltway Radio and beyond. Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
You better sing the hook. It's the
Beltway Radio
Ow!
and beyond.
We live. Say it.
Beltway Radio and beyond.
Sing the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio
Yes.
and beyond.
You better whisper the hook. Do it.
Beltway Radio
And beyond. I said the Beltway Radio and beyond. Yes, yes, one more time. Beltway Radio, yeah, and beyond. With the Beltway Radio and beyond. Bring the freak back. Bring the freak back. What? Beltway Radio, yeah,
and beyond, beyond.
we live right here. Beltway Radio.
Say what?
And beyond. Beltway Radio and beyond. I seen the goddamn hook.
Beltway Radio and beyond, beyond.
You better
beyond,
sing the
beyond.
hook. See the
Beltway Radio
Ow!
and beyond, beyond.
We
beyond.
live. Say it.
Beltway Radio and beyond, beyond,
I seen the
beyond,
goddamn
beyond.
hook.
Beltway Radio
Yes.
and beyond.
You better whisper the hook. Do it. Beltway Radio and beyond. I said the Beltway Radio and beyond. Yes, yes, one more time. Beltway Radio, yeah, and beyond. With the Beltway Radio and beyond. Bring the freak back. Bring the freak back. What? Beltway Radio, yeah,
and beyond, beyond.
we
beyond.
live right here. Beltway Radio.
Say what?
And beyond. Beltway Radio and beyond.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing all you. On black violence with straps, can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins, life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG, you see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you, Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put down, youngins, life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG, you see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Going on? What's going on, girls? You know what it is. It's Busy with B Monday, okay? Thank you guys for joining me here in the studio. Look, I get to show up and do what I love to do. That part. Okay. So as I'm waiting for the guests to come today, okay, shout out to Keisha, the realtor, doing her thing in the DMV. We talking women empowerment. We talking leaving legacy plans. We talking, um, we gonna go back, we gonna go forth. Who knows what may come up? But I just wanted to come on and just say hello, see what you guys been up to, okay? But your girl, what I've been up to just is a whole lot. I have a lot of things coming, okay? Shout out to Taurus season, okay? Because my birthday is coming, okay? So shout out to all the Tauruses out there. Look, we not even in my season yet, but I just wanted to hop ahead because that's just what I do. Okay. So as I'm waiting for her to come, I just got a few announcements. Okay. So as you guys know, life insurance is just really important to me. Okay. One of the reasons why I got into that is just seeing our community and the shortcomings of it. I was tired of posting GoFundMe's and all that good stuff. So look, I took matters in my own hands. Okay. I got licensed. Okay. I learned about life insurance, financial literacy, all of that good stuff. And look, I am helping families all around the DMV area right now. Okay. Soon to be nationwide. Okay. You got to claim it. You got to manifest things for yourself. You got to do all of that for yourself. It's super important to your girl. It's super important to, just really talk about. That's one thing that we can avoid that we need to talk about. So I wanted to talk about it, okay? So when you're watching the playback, you get all that good information and stuff like that. If you're joining me right now on Instagram and Facebook, okay, you'll see it soon. But guys, go to that DM. Entrepreneurs, Busy with B is getting back to the basics. Okay, the basics of when I started Busy with B was just, to highlight entrepreneurs, to highlight people like me, to highlight people that look like me, even. To no matter where you from, you can be great. No matter what you do, how you start, it's all about the ending, baby. It's all about how you finish. So I think it was just really about getting back to the basic of Busy would be, okay, highlighting and just talking about just women empowerment, young girls, helping them transition through life. Shout out to Loving and Free nonprofit, guys. If you want to be a part of that movement, help me do some things. I would like to give my first back to school drive, guys, in the community. Okay, I adopted some blocks over in Southeast Washington, so I have some plans over there, guys. Go to busywithb.com or .org. You got to buy them all, okay? And, leave a donation, leave a little small, little something to help me help someone else, okay? Help the not even help me, help the organization to help, the community. I really did not count on, what else I want to say? I want to shout out a couple of people who've been hitting me up. Next week's show, guys, I'm going to shout out to Marcus. I'm excited about next week's show, okay? Another Black man doing his thing. His story, his behind the scenes story is everything. So it's not all about what you're doing now. It's where you came from, where you started, and now what you're doing to paint that great picture that no matter where you're from, you can be great. Okay? As I'm waiting for my guest to come to the studio, and I think she's here, guys. I'm saying, I'm going to take a brief break, okay? Get my guest in the studio, and then I'll be right back with you, okay?
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins. Life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG. You see us coming, MDDC. Be more
Busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation, home of the Nets. We winning on you Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins. Life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG. You see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth. Black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins. Life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG. You see us coming, MD.
Busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. She too busy being beautiful, it's busy to be. We busy being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with B. We busy being brilliant, breaking down your issues with B. The best of being busy, baby, that's the way it should be.
I tune into my station, baby, and get busy with B.
What we talk about, we can talk it out. Latest news, advertisement, what we bark about. Charity, celebrity, what we talk about. Therapy, prosperity, what we talk about. I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets. We winning on you Bammers, baby, best believe it. We losing our youth, the black on black violence with straps. Can't depend on politicians, gotta watch our own back. Put the guns down, youngins. Life's about funnin'. Hate to see funerals, but love to give money. Shout out to VA and PG. You see us coming, MDDC. Be more what it do, dummy.
Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free. Getting busy with B, getting busy with me. I'm too busy being beautiful, loving and free.
Yes, yes, yes. we are back in the studio, and look at my beautiful guest. I mean, when I say came through, showed up, just ooh. Okay. Introduce yourself. How you would like to introduce yourself? Because I would just say Keisha from the block. I would say that.
Hey, Keisha from around the way. Hi, everyone. My name is Lakeisha, but everyone calls me Keisha for the most part. I'm really excited to be here. How would I introduce myself?
Okay, so let me just help her out, okay? Lakeisha is established real estate coon, okay? I guess you got to speak it as if you know you got to manifest things. But honestly, I met Keisha years ago, okay, years and years ago, and whenever I get inspired of seeing knowing where we came from, guys, because this show is all about where you come from. No matter where you come from, you can be great, but just knowing where we came from, I see her doing her thing. And sometimes when I see women that look like me, that came from where I come from, that's doing amazing things, I hit their DM. So as much as y'all hit my DM, I hit DMs too.
No,
okay.
Absolutely.
So I mean, just introduce yourself as the person you are today. Okay. Embrace all of that.
No, absolutely. So yes, I'm a real estate agent. I really love what I do, and just coming from where we come from, you just don't see a lot of successful business women in general. And so it's kind of crazy because I was thinking about it on my way here. I've always grown up around entrepreneurship. My grandfather owned apartment buildings.
Mm-hmm.
He had an eviction company, which I didn't realize. I was like, I've been
an
around real
eviction
estate.
company?
Yes, an eviction company. And I remember I've been around real estate my whole life, right? And he had a business where he had to evict people, and it was a hard business. And I remember begging to go. He's like, you don't want to go. You don't want to go. And he was so right. It's so sad to see. But everything comes around full circle. And now I have an opportunity to help people build wealth, generational wealth through real estate. I have an opportunity to help people not be in that position because they're renting and there are not many resources for you. As an owner, there's just so many resources to you to help you stay in your property, right? Okay. The last thing the bank want is your property back.
Hello.
So it's just really full circle for me to be able to be in a position that I am to help other people realize that. And it's pretty full circle.
Okay. So you guys get a glimpse of where she is now, okay? And some of the amazing things. But I want to inspire people, right? So look, let me tell you how nervous she is, okay? I'm not surprising you. It should be easy to talk about because I mean, this show is about transparency.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say where we from, okay, I'm born and raised Southeast Washington, be clear. And this is just me just saying that because a lot of times people see where we are, but they don't see the work to get to where we are, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to, when I met you, we were two Black girls, hanging out, having a good time from South. I met you through another friend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just to see your growth, to see all of that, like the everything you've been through to get to, like the God, the everything, like he saved me, he picked me, he chose me. Talk about Lil Larry, talk about a little piece of your journey because we want to empower and we want to motivate.
Everybody remembers Little Larry. That's my oldest son. He's 19. He's a sophomore at Morgan. Woo!
No!
Shout out to Morgan State University. Yes.
Shout out,
yes.
Larry.
Yes.
Yes. He's in college.
He's in college. I think when we met, he was little.
No, he was a baby.
Yes. And I also have an 11-year-old. And so a little bit about just talking about like God picking me up and turning me around. So when I had my oldest son, I was 19. I was at my first year of college, and it wasn't necessarily easy. And I was working at a nonprofit organization, which I worked for 19 years, which was a really awesome experience for me. But during that time, I was working my way through school, and it was a struggle. Having a little kid, working full time and going to school full time, but I was just really determined to finish. So it took me about 7-8 years to finish my bachelor's degree in business administration. And I finished. Shout out to UDC, the University of District of Columbia.
Okay.
I'm a proud alumni. And So that's where it kind of started out for me. I just knew once having him that I needed to really continue to show up and do the things that people said you couldn't do. You know, it was one of those things like, oh, you having a baby young, so now what are you going to do? And so that was one of the things that really kind of, when I saw my son, I said, I have to finish. I was in my freshman year of college, and I'm happy that he's in his sophomore year. So he graduated in 2020, and so it was just really full circle. I cried. I cried.
Okay.
His first day of 12th grade, I cried the entire day. And everybody thought it was so funny, but it was so emotional for me. We've been through so much together. And let me say this. So time passed, and we lived in apartments up until I moved in my place. I bought my house in 2016. He was in 8th grade. And so the joy on his face, see, he understood. My youngest son never understood.
They don't.
Like, he understood that apartment living. He understood, we have to move. And so now it's just a completely different story. So as you said, like, to look over just that span of time from the time he was born and up until now, and the things I've been able to accomplish with him.
For you, and I just want, because we don't do that enough.
It's possible, okay. But it's so possible in so many things, like finishing college, right?
Right.
Purchasing a home as a single mom, and being able to be a real estate agent. It's just some of the things that I thought I would never be able to do. So I just want to encourage somebody listening that whatever somebody's telling you can't do, you can do. If you could see it in your mind, you could definitely achieve it. And that's one of the things that my son always says. He said, Mom, you are the real GOAT. He said, because you said we were going to do this, and you did it. And so it could definitely be done. That's why I got in real estate, because I didn't know how to start. I just knew that we were, our old place, we had some pretty good times there. But we were living there. We had been renting this condo for about, 7 years. And my landlord at the time said, oh, I'm not going to renew your lease. Some things had happened. And she said, I'm not going to renew your lease. And she said, you should buy. I was like, yeah, I know I should, but I'm not ready right now. And so that kind of led me on this path of I actually do need to buy, because I don't want anyone ever again telling me I need to uproot my kids just because they decided that they didn't want to renew my lease. And so that's what kind of began my journey. And what I found out is that it was scary, because I hadn't seen anyone do it. My parents hadn't bought before, right? Mm-hmm. So I didn't have, my mom couldn't say, well, come on, let me show you how to do it. My aunties and them couldn't tell me how to do it. And one of my coworkers, she was an older coworker, and she bought late in life, maybe around in her late 50s. And I asked her, I said, well, how did you do it? And she said, oh, I just went to, shout out to Home Free USA for their little plug for Home Free USA. I went through Home Free USA to start my education around how to become a homeowner. And what I discovered is that all you need is a guide, and all you need is someone to help you navigate. And they helped me navigate. I mean, from beginning to end. And they did a success story at the end. So they had their editor come out to my new home, brand new construction, brand new house.
Talk about it.
I bought a brand new house, brand new construction. That was something. Let me back up. I just want to talk about dreams for just 1 second. I remember when I said, hey, I want to buy a house. My crazy broke self started looking at new construction. New construction, I couldn't afford it. It's no way I could afford it, right? I didn't even know how I was going to afford a resale, last on new construction. So I took my crazy self in new construction, and I walked around. I got all the pamphlets. I talked to all the salespeople there, and I took that pamphlet and I put it under my bed. I'm telling you, like, if you can think it,
so we
you
are
can
talking
have
about
it.
Manifesting. We are talking about faith. We are talking, like,
yes.
So I mean,
I know.
I literally the whole. So the thing is story is kind of personal to me because I know you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just like I see me and you, and that's what it's all about. So I literally the whole time you are talking, I have chills.
Oh.
You know, because I think a lot of times people be thinking like I do this podcast and like it's just no. I mean, from the moment that I started, every entrepreneur pours into me and don't even know.
Mm-hmm. It's not easy, though.
Understand?
Like, it's not easy. And this we glamorize everything. Real estate look real beautiful. Online, you see nice, pretty homes.
Yeah.
We take some bad photo shoots. Do you hear me? We take nice photo shoots. We have it all put together, but it's a hustle. And it's hard and it's difficult. And you have times when you don't know if you should be doing it or if you're doing the right thing. And then there are times like this when it encourages you to just keep going because you're like, you know
Got it.
what? I want you to come and talk to the people about your story. I want you to tell us how you got here. And for me, it's a nod to just keep going, right? Because it's like, just keep going. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, but I will be one of those giants in real estate.
Okay.
I'm telling you, like whatever God puts in your mind, it's for a reason.
Yeah.
That's why I say if you can think it, you could definitely do it.
No, you know what? One of the things another entrepreneur poured into me, ink it. I mean, what did it say? Think it, ink it.
Mhm.
Think it, ink it. Like write it all out and just like, I mean, just have faith. Like the way
Yeah.
I move is just through faith. And it's just like,
Yeah.
we got to get back to that.
And
You
the
know what I'm
Bible
saying?
says, write the vision and make it plain.
Mm.
And it also says that it might not, it's for an appointed time.
Okay.
And so sometimes we get a little frustrated. I'll be honest, I'll be very transparent. I get frustrated in my own progress sometimes. And my coach just told me the other day, he was like, you got the goods. He says, nothing stopping you. You need to see yourself being a top producer. You need to see that at a whole nother level and on a higher level. And it's just all about how we see ourselves and how we see things. Okay. And so I think whenever you're in entrepreneurship and when your numbers have to speak for you, it cannot always say what you wanted to say.
I will let me tell you this. Really, really early on in starting this podcast, right? Because everybody was like, I see you. You doing this, you doing that.
Mhm.
Very, very early on. I didn't have the numbers. I didn't have those things.
I'm telling you.
And it was just like, I'm so equipped even then. And it's just like I have certain numbers and things look a certain type of way. Now I'm selective. I'm gonna tell you because of this, like because of seeing how I promote the entrepreneurs that's coming on the show, I put you guys in front of my audience. I do certain things that I'm moving forward, guys. It's called Book Me. Okay.
Book me.
You know what I'm saying? It's called Book Me. Like at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like if we don't add value to ourselves,
yeah.
Like you're in an organization where you know your money gonna come at the end, but I give it away. I just love what I do. But at the end of the day, if you really want to be in front of an audience and you want to bring your brand, every business got to pay for marketing. Yep. So it's just I'm at a point where, okay, book me, okay, that part.
Yeah.
So,
it's about I learned this a long time ago in my first job. You don't dress for where you are right now. You dress for where you want to be. And so, you know, if you're a secretary, you want to be an executive, you should look at the executives and see how they're dressing, and you should dress that way. And you shouldn't dress as the receptionist that's making $10 an hour. You should dress as an executive who's making $40 or $50 an hour because that's what you aspire to be. And I learned that early on. Like I'm telling you, like everything that we go through, it builds us up for what we're going to be, what we're going to do.
It's no
and
wrong
we can't
thing.
despise humble beginnings. Like I learned so much just even being in this business, right? Everybody wants to be on the big screen, but you can just learn so much from just sitting under and just I'm telling you, like
every leader needs a coach. That's the one thing I would try to say. And I feel like every great leader knows when to hold and knows when to fold. I mean, you might not always know when to fold, but you know how to listen. That's basically what I'm saying. And be a student.
Yeah, in order for you to, I'm a student at my craft. I'm always like I was just on the training on my way here. It's from 3 to 5. Doing the database boot camp because that's what we into now. And everything, but yeah, it's just really about getting in touch with your database, and your database is the people that you know, your sphere of influence, right? And we take that for granted, all the opportunities that we have there. So now in this shift in market, we're really focusing on touching those people who know, like, and trust us, right?
Okay.
It's an uphill battle when you're trying to work with people who don't even know you, right? You have that first to get over. Then you have to show credibility and everything. But for the people who already know, like, and trust you, they don't do business with you. And so we're doing this boot camp. But I say all that to say, I'm a student of my craft. I was in class on Saturday.
Okay.
I just finished an 8-week class. I stay in class because I'm going to fight for my clients and I'm going to be on top of my game because that's what makes the difference, like really knowing what's going on out here in these real estate streets.
Okay. And you know, one of the things, and we still just getting to know you. When did it happen for you? You know, like I feel like in life everybody has a why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know the kids the why. But when did it switch when it was just like how many lessons? When did it switch? When did when it just when the light bulb went off and like I can do it. I can do anything I really put my mind to. I am enough right now. Whatever your right now moment was.
I think it just goes back to feeling a little hopeless, not knowing how to go about home ownership, not knowing what that was going to look like. And I had to work on my credit. I felt like I had to start from the beginning, not knowing where I was going to get the money from for the down payment and closing costs. And like I said, when I spoke to my coworker, she said, "Well, they'll walk you through from beginning to end." So the light bulb went off for me is when I actually got my keys, and I was in settlement. I said, "Oh my God, there's so many women like me, so many people like me, not just women, but women. I'm a woman. I'm a single mom, and when we look at who's purchasing homes now, I think it's 2022. The survey showed that 19% of new homeowners were single women. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. And so me being a single mom, being a first generation homeowner, I didn't really have
first generation.
Look, nobody was giving me a gift. Say that again for the people in the back.
Okay.
No one gave me a gift. Okay. So I had to figure all these things out. And so it clicked for me. Going through the process and standing in my home, having this conversation with the person who was doing a success story on me. And I said, I just realized that I just needed a guide. And I said, other people need to know that. And she said, they do. And you would be an awesome person to tell them about it. And even in my job prior, I worked in real estate a little bit on the commercial side. I've always been around real estate. But it clicked to me that if I was experiencing what I was experiencing by way of fear, by way of not knowing what to do, by way of just feeling lost, that there were other people out there who were having the same experience. And I would love to just show them how to do it. And it also, it sparked something in me. Like, this is something I can do. This is something I can build from the ground up, that I can be proud of, that I can one day give to my kids. And that's what kind of did it for me. Just realizing that there's somebody else, there's another Keisha out here in this world that needs to know that they can do it. And so, yeah, and that's what I've been doing. I call it changing the, actually, I just came up with this. Changing the narrative one family at a time. Because I feel like my whole life has been about, you talking about where we come from? Like, I was born across the street from H.D. Woodson. I lived in every quadrant of Washington, D.C. and PG County, right? And so one thing I learned from my mom is that you can always change a narrative. And that's been my life when I think about it. From having my son at 19, still finishing school, that changed the narrative because most statistically speaking, I was not going to finish my college education, right? And my child would be a statistic, and then I would be on public assistance. And yeah, I changed the narrative by just being persistent. Somebody told me in my old job,
persistent and consistent.
Because you have to be tenacious. Like, you have to refuse to be denied. Yeah. And when it took me. I went to school summertime, nighttime, anytime, weekend time. No, I took classes. I used to take Laurie to school. Yeah. They had a daycare on the university grounds. I took him to class with me. That's how determined I was to make it happen. And that's how you have to be in life. And now that I'm sitting here thinking about, those are the same qualities that you need to be successful in business. You got to be determined. You have to have some tenacity. You got to be refused to be denied.
I'm gonna tell you this though. Let me tell you. No matter how good you feel, though, right? Mm-hmm. You on this path. You doing this. Everyone have days when it's just like, how can I get out this bed? I need to get up. I need to, how kind are you to yourself? Because a lot of times we are so forgiving of everyone else, and we don't know how to be kind to ourselves. And I mean, I'm sharing because it's not easy sometimes, especially, you have your good, your bad days. How do you so kind to yourself to just, get up and just know that
Yeah, I'm being full transparency. It's not always easy, and I'm not always nice to myself, and I'm learning to be nicer to myself. And I just finished Queen Esther, which is a women's discipleship program, and I learned through that affirmations are beautiful. Let me say that I love affirmations, but the best affirmations are the ones that connect to the word of God, right? Because God's word is true and it's stable. Our feelings are very unstable, right? And with so much going on around us, it's unstable. And what I learned is that affirmations are beautiful, but what makes them even more powerful is when you connect them to the word of God. So my favorite one now was I am a capable, intelligent, and virtuous woman. That's one of my, and that's out of everybody know the Psalm 31 woman, right? That's straight from there. Like I am a capable, intelligent, and virtuous woman. And not so much because I'm all that, but because God said. Because I accepted Jesus. Like that's why. And that keeps me grounded and that keeps me just motivated. And then also like having affirmations, I'm worth it. I do affirmations. Like I really do. Journaling. Journaling is important. You talked about inking it. But we need to journal our feelings so we can see how because I'm like, okay, feelings lie.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. Our feelings lie to us. They tell us stories that are not always necessarily true. And so when you journal things, you're able to go back and look and see how you were feeling at a particular time. And then in hindsight, you can say, oh, I felt that way, but now I see it was because of X, Y, and Z. And when we haven't written it down, we don't always have that opportunity to be able to go back and be reflective in that way. And so the affirmations are great. If you're a person of faith, connect them to something in the scripture. Like one of my favorite ones is like, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, listen, I don't have to be as pretty as you. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And I think I'm the hot stuff. So if I think I'm the hot stuff, then I'm hot stuff. And I'll also say this, like, we have to remember that whatever we say to ourselves is what we believe. It's not what other people say about us. It's what we say to ourselves.
The minute you learn that. So again, today is women empowerment, women healing, just loving on yourself and just really going through the journey. You know what I'm saying? Like both of us been there when we didn't feel valuable, when we didn't feel that we was enough or capable. You know what I'm saying? So to push through that fear, to come to a moment where we can sit in who we are.
Yep.
And one by one change the world.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? One by one, just know that I just love it. Because affirmations is my best friend.
Yeah, you have to use
affirmations saved my life. I was saying them even when I didn't believe them. You know what I'm saying? I did not believe that I was enough. Now that's my favorite affirmation. I'm enough. And now I just say I'm enough right now. So I'm not biblical, you know what I'm saying? Because, I love God and all that good stuff. I don't just know the Bible. Everything that I do, I know the Bible, but I just don't know how to refer. I know all the stories, Job.
But that's what makes the Bible come, for me, one of the things I like, what makes it come alive is life. It's true though, right? And it's like so Queen Esther, we studied the different women of the Bible. And in every woman, you could find yourself in that woman, right? No matter where you were, like some of the women in the Bible are barren. I'm not barren, but I can still find myself because you could find yourself in their thoughts and their emotions, right? And I think all of us at some point have been barren. Maybe we had kids, but we felt like we're empty and we're not producing this and we're not producing that. And the thing about it is, no matter where you are, no matter how painful it is, it's producing something in you. Yep. It's producing something. Like the pain is producing something. The struggle is producing something.
And you don't get a result.
I'm telling you.
Even when you're going through it, you don't always understand it at the time. But eventually you be like, really? But God. Yeah. But God. Like it just always makes so much sense.
Yeah. Listen, I wouldn't. I don't know where I would be without God. So that's me, right? That's how I kind of make it through the day, and that's how I keep going because I realize that I'm connected to something greater than me, and as a result, the things that I do will have a much greater impact. Just because I'm connected to something greater than me.
You know, you got so much up in you. Okay. And
yeah, that's what folks been telling me.
No, for real, because I'm working on some things that put people like you in front of other people that we can influence. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's just like to hear you. Like I don't have to say anything. You got this. This is the Lakeisha takeover of the Buzy with B show. Okay, no, it's just that vibe. So I'm just loving it. So now as we shifting, okay, because I definitely want you to talk about the business, okay, about the business part. And thank you for being so transparent and sharing your story, okay?
Absolutely.
Somebody is healed right now, okay? I'm going to take you to church, okay?
Well, you can do it.
I mean, I really want to, okay. So I know you spoke about statistics already. Let's talk about some of the programs that's out there. I mean, I am that woman who was single and I purchased
Mhm.
I didn't really go through a program. You know, it was just all about I saved and I just made it do what it do. Like,
And you did great. You have so
thank you.
there are first time home buying programs in every state. I'm licensed in DC, and Maryland. I can help people in all 50 states.
Okay.
And yet there's a program for everybody almost. A first time home buyer is defined as something different depending on what state you are, but in general, it's someone who hasn't owned before or who hasn't owned in the last 3 to 7 years. Again, depends on the state and what you're looking at. But like DC has so much money for first time home buyer programs. Like they have the HPAP program that's giving up to $202,000. It's income based. And they have similar, not as rich, not as abundant as DC, but Maryland, Virginia, they have similar programs. The purpose of programs is to help bridge the gap because that's one barrier to home ownership is a lack of funding for down payment and closing costs.
Okay.
And that's what down payment assistance programs do. You said something very important. You said you save. You have to save for a couple of reasons because there's still expenses that you're going to have to be able to pay upfront out of your pocket that's not going to be covered by a down payment assistance program. And because you want to be in a habit of saving. Because once you get into your home, newsflash, you don't have a maintenance man to call anymore, right? And while you can have and I'm an advocate for home warranties and things like that to help offset and mitigate the cost of that, you want to become a person who has an emergency fund. Most people, I forgot the statistics, but I forgot how many people don't even have $1,000 emergency fund. So saving is very important. And even if you only save $20 a pay period, it's important.
And I definitely want to bring this up because, you know, we definitely living in a different economy, a different world, stuff like that. And the difference between renting and owning your home, you know what I'm saying? Basically, because I had to get used to the fact that I am a homeowner. Like I'm like, because in my mind I was like, you know, I got a mortgage, you know, but I am a homeowner, you know. So getting used to that and the difference, the concept, and letting people know how you can borrow against that, you can do just certain things like different from you know renting. It's just like you're almost never broke. That's the way I look at it.
It's a great
like
way to
if
look at it.
something happens, you have a cushion, you have you know, equity in their home, you know, and things like that. That's not the only way to build equity, but it's a great way. And I'm just saying, even though I've never refinanced my home, but it's a cushion. It's there.
I mean, you can also use it as leverage. If you're looking to do other adventures, they ask you if you have any assets. You can use that equity for that. You could use it to send your kids to college. I mean, when you're renting, that money that you're spending on rent, that's just what you're doing. It's not doing anything for you at all. But when you're buying, that money is working for you. It's appreciating because it's growing. First of all, real estate is like the number one investment. Real estate has better returns than any savings account that you can think of, right? And so real estate is the number one way. And well, I'll say this, it's the easiest way to build wealth, right? Over 3 generations. Like if you buy a home now and that you keep that home and you pass it down to your daughter, and then your grandkids have that home, you just build generational wealth in 3 generations. In the beginning, it's just that one property because you may buy the property that you live in now may not be your forever home. The money that you are spending in your monthly mortgage, you're able to write off every bit of what you paying interest off of your taxes. When you pay $1,600 for rent, it's just gone.
Yeah.
But when you pay $1,600 for mortgage, a portion of that can be written off at the end of the year. So that's another way that you're saving.
I'm just basically, I wanted to bring that up because we need to highlight those things. Because again, this is about financial legacy and just building wealth. You know what I'm saying? It ties into, okay, I got to plug it. Me being a life insurance agent and really learning that field and really just helping families that look like me leave that legacy plan for their family and just knowing how important it is. But again, we talking about home and we talking about these things, and it's just part of the process of leaving legacy.
Yeah, and a lot of us we don't talk about health insurance. I mean, life insurance.
Yeah,
we don't have I don't know where health insurance came from. Some people don't have health insurance.
No, yeah, but I don't understand why people so scared to talk about, you know, as certain things.
I think it's cultural. I think we you probably can agree to this. We come from a group of people, Black folks, who say what goes on in this house stays in this house. And as a result, we've been conditioned to not talk about money, to not talk about wealth, to not talking about dying, to not talk about health insurance. And it's holding us back. In other communities, they talking about it openly.
And not only that, the legacies through. I mean, they setting their kids up. You know, they almost want to die. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like they are able to, you know, they setting up their trust. They setting up their wills. I mean, these all the things that we need to talk about. And when they pass on, they are leaving their family set for generations to come.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I feel like, yes, it's starting a lot with our generation because I do.
We're doing so much better.
Continue the DMs, reaching out, continue getting that knowledge. I appreciate, you know, people putting me in rooms to talk to different families, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that because guess what? I mean, even if we get the whole life plan for the kids right now while they 5 and 10, we're not talking about a lot of money here,
right?
Okay, we talking about one less drink from the club, okay? We talking, I'm just like, if we gonna go there and be real, let's be real. We not, the earlier we get on it, the better.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
know what I'm saying? So I'm happy. I became.
We have to talk about it.
Yeah, I became a homeowner at what 35 or something like that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was around that age, and not only that, and how we. What's also important about that is, you know, how you take your deed, and when you die, what happens to your property? What happens to your house? You know,
talk to me about that.
Yeah, like, so people don't understand this, but if you don't have a trust set up, your home has to go to probate. And that means that you have to go to your family members, have to go down to the court, have to open up probate. And it just goes through this series of things. But if you have it set up in a trust and then you have a trustee over there or beneficiary over there, they're able to just take it over. And not only that, they save on taxes. Now, I'm not a trust and probate attorney, but I'll tell you this, it's something that we all need to start thinking about. And we're talking about legacy and generation building. We need
that information.
No, we need to start talking about how trust funds and setting up a trust. And especially if you're investing and you're buying more than one property, you know, that's things that you want to start thinking about.
Especially if you have that $400,000 life insurance policy and you're replacing your income, it's trusts, okay?
Yeah.
Set up those trust funds, okay? Because the baby daddy will not get my money. Okay?
Uh-oh.
That's all.
Uh-oh. So yeah, so it's important to have knowledge around those things. And one thing I can say about the time that we live in, it's so much different. Like, information is abundant. But the thing is, we don't even know where to look sometimes. And so go Google how to set up a trust.
Okay.
And we have seminars. Actually, a colleague and I, we're working on one.
Plug your business.
No,
we winding down.
Yeah, we have seminars on home ownership. We get ready to start one called Budgeting Your Way to Home Ownership. I'm working with a colleague on that. She has a budgeting business called Lavish Budgets. And so we're talking about the foundations of being in a position to buy and the rudiment of it is having a budget. Most people don't even know how much money they have coming in and going out on a monthly basis. And so how can you save? How do you know what you have working with? And then just understanding budgeting, right? So budgeting is number one. So
plug your Instagram because we winding down the show.
So you can reach me at L Marie Sales, LMARIE Sales, or you could just type in Lakeisha Hyman, and I'm on Facebook and Instagram.
And I'm going to say this, guys. You guys know where you can find me, busywithbee.com, busywithbee.org, guys. We are doing some amazing things coming up. Plug in my guest next week, Marcus. I'm so excited to have you and just to talk about your business and your story. I'm loving it. Hey, we got some unfinished business.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Again. Yes. Guys, you know where to find me each and every Monday, okay? Right here, Beltway Radio. Shout out to you. I'll see you next week. Peace.
Charity, celebrity, what we talk about, therapy, prosperity, what we talk about, I'm from the nation cap, home of the Nets, we winning on you Bama's, baby, best believe it, we losing all youth.